Why have the leaders of these rival parliaments so far rejected the deal put forward by the UN?
First of all, they feel that the UN process has been manipulated. Initially, they had come on the process to really forge a government of national unity, a political framework that would pave the way for a new system for the next 2 years. But they were really sort of pushed out of the process and voluntarily pulled out when UN Special Envoy Bernardino Leon in early October, sort of like a magician, pulled out names for candidates for the positions of the prime minister and deputies, this ruling council called the Presidential Council, which didn't take into account the suggestions that were made by the rival parliament. So really that triggered all sorts of negative sentiments against the UN process.
But if they don't sign today in Morocco, what will happen next?
Well, let's look at who's going to sign in Morocco today. In Morocco, we do have negotiators, Libyan representatives of the various constituencies who have been part of the UN-led peace talks for over a year. So members of these two parliaments and other independents are most probably going to sign today in Morocco on an individual basis. It's the two rival parliaments that will not sign on in an institutional manner because they say they never agreed on the process, and therefore they cannot say that the parliaments are vouching for this. But the risk is that by not having an institutional vote and only having individual members signing on to the agreement, you can have further institutional chaos in the country, potentially 3 governments simultaneously and 4 parliaments.
And how much support does this unity deal in its current form actually have on the ground in Libya?
Well, there's no doubt that most Libyans across the country say that they want a unity government. The situation is desperate. The economy of the country is in free fall, kidnappings, there's no security in the country. So everybody wants a unity government. But I would say a fraction of Libyans, maybe half of them, maybe less than half, it's hard to quantify, are okay with this lineup, with this government that is being proposed, headed by a man called Fayez Sarraj, who was relatively unknown until two months ago when his name came out. But the other half of Libya says they want a unity government, but they just don't feel that they own the process that has led to this, the nomination of this government. So they refuse this lineup and just want to be consulted in the choice of the unity government that will represent Libya.
Okay, Claudia Gazzini, senior Libya analyst at the International Crisis Group in Brussels. Thank you very much for joining us here on France 24 this morning.